Hey YouTube, this is Salams. Wow, so I haven't made a video in a little while. So I'm recording this in March 2019. I started testosterone March of 2018. This is Pickle. Pickle loves being on camera. This is also my gotcha day with Pickle. Anyway, unrelated. Yeah, I started testosterone in March of 2018. And this is, I guess, my 1 year video, but I hasn't been a consistent. I haven't been on testosterone consistently. I started on a very small dose last March because I was just curious to know what it would feel like to actually have the hormone in my system. You know, I had no idea what to expect. All I knew was that I was curious, and I felt really scared at the commitment of going on T, and having some specific results. And I didn't have that in my mind. I never had a specific idea as to what I wanted T to do for me. All I knew was that I wanted to try it out. I felt like I couldn't make a judgment about if I wanted to be on it or not without actually trying it out. And so it was a little challenging to explain that to the doctor, but I was lucky that I actually had a doctor who pretty much got it and put me on the lowest dose possible. And so I started in March of last year but actually I took half the amount she gave me because I didn't want it to go too quickly. Like I really just wanted it to, I just really wanted to feel it in my system. And I did it for a few weeks, and then I stopped taking tea for a little while, and then I started again. And, you know, there was a lot of back and forth because I felt some tiny things changing. Like I felt my voice shift a little bit, and I was a little uncomfortable with that, so I stopped. And then I started again because I was noticing, like, oh, wow, I really noticed how female I looked, you know, or feminine my body, my face looked, and I didn't like that. So I was like, well, I know that if I go on tea, that will change. And so I got back on tea, but then, you know, I noticed, like, again, my voice was changing too quickly, so I freaked out and I stopped taking it. So, I mean, I just was back and forth on it for a while. And then finally, yeah, I mean, it's really been a lot of that. At some point, I finally started feeling more comfortable with it, and then I ended up going up to the actual amount I was prescribed, which was 0.25. And I stayed on that for a while, and I was feeling better about it. Like I was feeling like I was getting more comfortable with the vocal changes. I liked the physical changes that I was noticing, and I was feeling really good in my body. I also felt much more emotionally stable, and I really liked how that felt. I just felt like the way my mind worked was different, you know, and much more able to control my reactions, which was different than what I had heard. I know a lot of people express fear about like anger issues, and if anything, like my anger is like so much more under control now that I've been on it more consistently. So interesting, you know. But I love the stability. My anxiety has gone down a lot. So overall, it's been very positive for me. But it's been this up and down. It's like going on, going off, going on, going off. And, but that's how I needed to do it, you know? I know for a lot of people, there's like a very clear end game. For me, it hasn't been that way. You know, for me, it's been like 1 week at a time. I ask myself, do I want to be on testosterone? Do I want to keep, you know, progressing towards masculinizing myself? And I ask myself that every week. And if the answer is yes, then I continue, you know, and if the answer is no, then I don't. However, I made a mistake because I finally got on 0.25, you know, I finally got up to the 0.25 dose. And I noticed at one point that my voice changed, and I lost a lot of my vocal register, my high register. And so I couldn't sing I couldn't sing a bunch of notes. And it was very disturbing to me because I love singing. I'm not like a professional singer, but I love singing. It brings me a lot of joy. And so when I noticed that I couldn't sing, I was concerned about that. So I decided to stop taking it. But I stopped like that. I didn't taper down. And I had a very extreme withdrawal experience that I did not anticipate. Kind of silly that I wouldn't anticipate it because it's a pretty major hormone to stop taking all of a sudden. But nonetheless, just a warning that if you do want to stop, I recommend tapering down or definitely talking to your doctor, which I didn't do. I just stopped. It really was hard. I was very emotionally unstable that week. I felt really cloudy, dizzy, out of it. Had trouble making decisions. My processing was off. Like, it was really messed up. And so I realized, like, okay, like that was not the way to do it. So I ended up going back on it and then tapered down. And then finally decided, I had this moment of realization that my life has gotten better since I have continued to transition. Top surgery, my life got better. Starting T, my life got better. The more things change, even though I have some anxiety about it, my life has been getting better and better, and I've been happier and happier. And I realized that the fear of masculinizing more comes from thinking about what certain people will think, or potential rejection I'm going to face. And what I realized was that I can't let those things stop me from being me. And I think that was really impacting me this whole time. That I was hitting pause on transitioning and telling myself that I wasn't ready yet because I was afraid. I was afraid of family rejection, or shame, other people's transphobia. And then when I realized that, like, I've been so much happier since, and I realized that I'm largely not in touch with any of these people that I'm like fantasizing about being afraid of their responses. It's like, well, what am I doing? I'm putting my life on hold for other people, and it just doesn't really make any sense, So I realized, like, okay, I want to continue, and so I'm doing it the same way. I'm still on 0.25. I might go up. I'm working with my doctor right now. I have to get my blood test done, and then she's going to see if my dose could get increased, because I am feeling better and more confident about being on a higher dose. Everything feels better when I'm on a higher dose. So we're going to see about that. But every week I ask myself, before I inject myself, I'm like, is this what I want? Do I want to continue to masculinize? Do I want to be seen more masculine in the world? Am I ready to accept being closed out of certain circles? Like not having space in women's spaces anymore. That was a very big part of my life for a long time, and just recognizing that is not a part of my world, and the more I masculinize, the less, because even these days I can still sort of be seen as, I think some folks who look at me, and I'm kind of in this androgynous place, a lot of women who know that I was assigned female at birth still treat me, female, like I'm one of the group. And the more masculine I start presenting, I know that those doors are going to close. And there's grief that comes with that. But I feel ready because I feel like I'm really on the right path for me. And it's taken me a long time to get here. So anyway, that's what's going on right now. I think it's going to be 1 year on the 28th, and it's really hard to believe. And I feel really good. I'm happy. I'm confident. My body feels great. I had top surgery last year, and I just feel really happy with my body. And I'm starting to work out a little bit, so I'm really trying to make myself feel. I don't know. I mean, the working out. I'm just trying to start paying attention to my body in a way that I never have in my life. And so top surgery plus working out plus starting to eat a little bit better, although that's hard because I really like to eat. So that's a tough one. But everything else, it just feels so nice to be in a place where I feel so much happier with who I am. And I actually can see a future for myself, in a way that I couldn't before. And so it's amazing. So anyway, I'm sure I'm going to have a lot more to say about this, but in general, I guess, what I'll say is that, like, mentally, psychologically, spiritually, physically, I feel like I'm on the right path, being, 1 year on T and continuing. I'm not planning to come off of it. I kind of feel like I'm going to stay on it for a while. And if I do decide to come down, I'm going to taper down. But right now, yeah, that's where I am. And, I've identified as non-binary, and I still do, and I feel... it's weird. I don't know. I hate the label thing. Like, I just feel like my gender is very fluid, and different days, different things feel right. And anyway, that's where I'm at today. I'm sure I'll update soon. Thank you so much for watching.